Hi everyone, this tutorial is based on a viewer request asking if I could cover text wrapping in Affinity. Thank you so much to PC Geek for the suggestion. I love hearing all of your requests because it lets me know exactly what you want to see here on the channel, so keep them coming. In this tutorial, I'm going to start out by walking you through the basics of text wrapping, how to set it up, the various styles, all of that fun stuff. And then I'll take you through a real project so I can show you how to apply everything that you just learned. I'm in the Unified Affinity by Canva app. If you're in version 2, text wrapping is only available in Publisher, but the overall concept is the same. Are you ready? Let's get started. I have a letter-sized document here, and I want to start out by setting up all of my elements, my text frames, as well as the object my text is going to wrap around. Now, I'm here in the default layout studio, but because this is the unified app, you can access the tools from any studio. Before I do anything, I want to start by pulling in some text styles. Now, text styles aren't necessary to use with text wrapping, but it does make adjusting the text frame so that we're going to use a lot easier. So I'm going to go over here to my text styles panel. And before I add any text, I'm going to delete all the default text styles just to clear that out. Next, I'm going to go to my assets and I'm going to drag in a group of text frames that I had created and applied text styles to. That's automatically going to populate those text styles over here in my panel. So I no longer need this. I'll go ahead and delete it. If you'd like to learn more about how I save text styles to my assets so I have them available in any document, I've linked the full tutorial that I created below. I'm going to start out by creating a header at the top with the text frame. So I'll drag out a nice big text frame here and I'll just center this up. And I want to apply the large header to this, as well as vertically center it up. And I'll just type in text wrapping. Next, I want to grab the text frame again, and I'm going to drag out a text frame that covers the entire page, starting just below that header frame. Now, this time I want to use this basic text, and I'm going to left align this, and I'm going to top align it. I also want to add some filler text. So while I have the text frame selected, I'm going to right click and choose Insert Filler Text. And finally, I'll go to my assets and pull in the object that I want my text to wrap around. Now you can see that because text wrapping hasn't been applied yet, the text isn't taking the collage element into consideration at all. It's still going to the edge of the page, completely ignoring it. Before I add text wrapping though, I want to make sure that my two frames are set up correctly. For the header, I don't want text wrapping to apply to it, so I'm going to select that frame and I'm going to open up the text frame panel by choosing this icon here at the top and toggling on Ignore Text Wraps. Even if the header text is nowhere near the collage piece, if I don't have this on, certain text wrap styles are going to affect it. I'm going to keep this open because I want to select the other one. Now, I don't want this frame to ignore text wraps, but what I do want to do are set up some margins here because all of my text is going right to the edge. So under Insets, I'm going to make sure that this is locked, and I'll just key in 50 pixels. With all of that done, my canvas is all set up and we're ready to take a look at the various text wrapping options. Text wrapping is applied to the object that you're wrapping around, not the text frame. So I'm going to select my hydrangea layer and I can either go up to the menu at the top to text, down to text wrap and choose show text wrap settings. Or if I have the text wrap options open in my toolbar, I can use them here. Now, these are not set up in the Layout Studio by default. If you want to add them, you can right click and choose Customize Toolbar and add them that way. I'm going to select this first option, which again is Show Text Wrap Settings, and you'll see this dialog box open up. Let's run through the different wrap styles, starting with Jump. Jump is going to push the text above and below the object. That's it. If I move this around, the amount above and below is going to change, but that's the extent of this particular style. Square is going to wrap the text around the bounding box. You'll notice that this has a rather large bounding box, but Affinity is actually going to read the edges of the object to create its own much closer version. That's why this text is so close to the object. Now, this style has an additional option where you can choose to have the text pushed to either side of the square like this, or to the largest side. So it's moving everything to this side because it's the most space. If I put both sides on and I move this over, you can see that text forms all around my object. Now, a particular note about this style as it pertains to your alignment of your text. Most of the time I use left align as my alignment option because it's better for readability. It's going to align all the text to the left side of the frame and have a more jagged edge at the right. You'll also get more consistent spacing between each of the words. With left align and square selected with both sides, you'll notice that one side of the wrap is perfectly aligned while the other is jagged. It's basically left aligning on both sides of the object, the same way it would if it was just a text frame without an object to wrap around. I currently don't have auto hyphenation turned on in my paragraph settings. In other words, where a line break needs to happen, Affinity will place what it can, push everything to the next line, and then add a hyphen. If I go to my paragraph settings and I toggle on auto hyphenation on that text frame, you can see that it shifts a little and I get more of a square than I had, but it's still not perfectly aligned. At the end of the day, it comes down to whether you want to prioritize words being kept intact with no hyphens and having a little bit more space around the object over less of a buffer around your object, but hyphens in place. I'm going to toggle this off because I'm not really worried about that. Moving on to the next style, tight is going to make the text hug the outline of the object, and in some places, forcing single words into spaces and creating large gaps between the words. Now again, I have the option of choosing both sides or largest side. I'm going to set this back to both sides, and I'm just going to move this over. If I want to, I can go down here to the bottom and add distance from the text. And I can either add it to single sides by unlocking this, or I can keep it locked and key in a single amount that applies to all four sides. And you can see now I no longer have any words tucked inside and my spacing is back to normal. Inside is going to wrap the text to the inner contour of the object, but your object needs to be beneath the filler text in the layer stack for it to show up. Now in this case, my text frame is a lot larger than the actual object. Since it's filler text, I'm just going to adjust this. If I bring this down to right about there, you can see that it's all within the actual object and nothing is outside. This is a great option if you want to create a paragraph of text in a shape, because you can set it and then turn the actual object off and the shape remains in place. And finally, edge is a bit of everything. You're going to have some inside, some outside, but it's going to avoid the edges of your object. Now, if I don't want to have these little spare things sitting here, I can go down to the bottom again and change distance from text. If I switch this to something like 45, you can see that it's creating that outer buffer, but I still have some inside and then everything on the outside. There are two things that I want to note before we move on to an actual project. For this demonstration, I used filler text, so it's automatically adjusting so there's never any text overflow. But watch what happens when I right-click on this and expand it to regular text. If I start to increase the size of this, you're going to see that little text overflow eyeballs show up. The same will apply for any of the wrap styles where text gets pushed past the bounds of the text frame. Now, the reason that I bring this up is if you're using filler text to create templates, make sure you expand your filler text so that you have a more accurate gauge of how this would behave if non-filler text was used. You want to make sure there's no overflow outside of the bounds of the text frame. The other thing that I want to note is that I pulled my object in from my assets. Had I applied my text wrap to the object before adding it here, the selected wrap style would still be in place anytime I pulled it in. If you don't want text wrapping applied to an asset that you save, make sure that your options are set to none before saving it. Now that we've covered the ins and outs of the different styles, let's move into an actual project where I'll apply what I just reviewed. I have this image of a mountain range and a quote about mountains, and I want to place the first part of the quote here in big bold letters that follow the contour of this foreground here. And then the rest of the quote is going to be in a separate text frame at the bottom. Now, in order to do this, I need to isolate the foreground so that I have an object for my text to wrap around. I'm going to go to this fresh copy of the image, and I want to hop over to my Pixel Studio where I have my selection brush tool. You could use object selection tool as well if you prefer. I'll select my layer, and I have snap to edges on and a relatively large brush, and I'm just going to start selecting this foreground element here. Now, I'm not aiming for a perfect selection. I really just need the contour. But if I do go past where I want, I can hold down Alt and just click to get it to push it back to where I want it to be. Once my selection is in place with that layer selected, I'm going to key Command or Control J on my keyboard, and now I have an isolated object that I can wrap my text around. I'm going to turn the background on, deselect with Command or Control D, and then I'll just change the name of this. I'm going to head back to the Layout Studio because the rest of my tools are there. Now I've already pulled in some text styles to the text style panel using the same process I did in the last exercise. I want to add two text frames, one to the top and then one to the bottom. So I'll grab my text frame and I'm going to apply the medium header to this one and just drag it out nice and long here at the bottom. And then I'll just center it up. And I'm just going to make sure that it's center aligned and center aligned vertically as well. Now I'll come back to this one. I'm going to grab the text frame again and grab out and drag out one that goes just below the selection here. I don't need it to cover the entire page. And this time I'm going to apply a large header to it. So I'm going to click in here and you can see that everything is center aligned here. So I want to bring this up to the left align to the top. Now it's right at the edge. So again, I want to create a bit of a buffer for this. So I'll go to my text frame panel and for the left object, I want to key in 100 and for the top, I want to key in the same. So I have that unlocked so that it doesn't apply to all four. And I want to make sure that ignore text wraps is off because again, I want this to be the object that wraps. I'm going to keep this open because I want to go to my other one. For this one, I don't need any sort of inset, but I do want to ignore the text wraps because remember, even if it's anywhere near the object, it'll still get impacted. So any frames that you don't want text wrap applied to, make sure you toggle this on. So I'm all set there. And while I'm in this text frame, I'm going to make the text a lot larger. Let's try 72 to start. And I'm going to key in. All right, that's a little bit small. So let's just make that bigger. Bring it to right about there. I think that's good. So I'm all set with that text frame. Let's go to this one. And again, I'm going to click inside. Now this already looks a little too small, but I'm going to type everything out to start. So I want this to wrap around this object. The first thing I'm going to do is just make this a lot bigger because we're really not going to see anything happen until I do that. So I'm going to select my text and let's just start with 350 and see where we go. And you can see it's already overlapping that object. So I'm going to grab the text wrapping object and I'm going to open up my text wrap settings. And for this, I'm going to choose tight and I think I'll use both sides. And I don't need any sort of distance from the text, but I think because this text is not quite big enough, it's not doing what I want. It's sort of doing the contour, but let's see what happens when I go up here and I change this to something like 375. All right, so we're starting to get there. Let's try 400. All right, I think that is perfect. So you can see that it's following that. If I change this back to none, it's going to overlap. So I'll change it back to tight. I could style this a little bit if I want. I'll take this, maybe change it to darken so that some of that background element comes through. And I could go ahead and add a rectangle on the top here and grab some texture from the stock studio. So let's select the fill tool. And I have some craft paper texture here by Resource Boy. And maybe just do overlay. So that's it. To summarize, in order to wrap text around an object, you want to make sure that the object is isolated, either as a transparent PNG like the first part of the tutorial, or an object that you isolate with selection tools like we did here. You can place as many text frames as you would like, and if you only want the text wrap to apply to specific frames, make sure that Ignore Text Wrap is toggled on in the others. The text wrap style you select depends on the outcome you want, but it's also impacted by the text alignment options you have in place. If you have any questions about what you learned in this tutorial, let me know in the comments below. Again, I love hearing suggestions for what you'd like to see covered here on my channel, so please feel free to let me know that as well. I have lots more tutorials on the way in both Affinity and Canva, so be sure to hit subscribe so you always know when a new one is published. In the meantime, you might want to check out one of these two next. Thanks for watching.